right-hand wheel track. So remember, whenever we're turning right, we've got to be right. Looking right, looking left before we cross through the intersection. And we've been killed by a train. Yep. Yeah, of course. So always got to look both ways before crossing the train tracks. So if I've been teaching you it, they're looking for it. That's alright. Normally I wouldn't be so naggy when we first come down to Midland, but because our test is only next week, I got to jump on everything, unfortunately. Now, good road position at the moment, so when we go through the lights, there's a blind corner that bends to the right. Now, you're going to have parked cars on your left when you go around the bend. So you just got to decide once you can see up the road whether you're going to your right-hand wheel track or the oil slick if you've got oncoming cars as well as the parked cars. We're just following the road as it goes. So it's a blind corner. Yeah, we're just following the road as it goes, yeah. Yep. But you're going to have parked cars, once you go around the bend, you're going to have parked cars on your left-hand side. So you just got to decide if you're going to your right-hand wheel track or the oil slick, if there's oncoming cars, as well as the parked cars. Make sure we look over our shoulder, even if we're just going to the oil slick, okay? Now back to our right-hand wheel track. Again, make sure you look over your shoulder if you're changing your wheel track positions. Going to turn left at this roundabout. Hey, my horn works. Woohoo! Uh-huh. Right-hand wheel track straight away. Now, when you turn onto a road, you can go to whichever lane, whichever wheel track you need, as long in one go, without having to look over your shoulder, as long as you do it in one smooth turn. God, my words were all over the place just then. Left-hand lane, right-hand wheel track. So you focused on the right a lot there, and we kind of was a bit late checking to our left. So I've got to check both ways before crossing through the lights. So we're looking out for emergency vehicles and anyone else running the red lights. Yep, so oncoming cars, I would have briefly moved to my left just here, or just stayed in the middle where you are now. Yep. Then left-hand wheel track, just there, yep, that's the left-hand wheel track on this road. It's pretty much in the middle of the lane. Got the 40 signs here. Remember, front brake first, not the rear. The rear is not going to save you in an emergency. It's not going to slow you down very well at all. So always front brake first, okay? Now we've got the 60 sign there, so we can get back up to 60 now. So you sped up before we reach that sign, so that would be an instant fail for your test. As soon as you hit 5 k's over the speed limit of the zone that you're in, yeah, instant fail on your test. So if you've got a higher speed limit coming up, wait until you pass the sign, then speed up. This has a merge point coming up here, but we're going to do it halfway through the lights again, okay? So indicating now, looking over our shoulder, and then moving over to our right. Because we've got the medium strip in the middle of the road. So right-hand wheel track. Just there, yep. So this car is in the very middle of the road at the moment, so yeah, you can see where the wheel tracks are on the street. Very wide roads like this, yeah, we tend to ride closer to the middle of the road than the edge. But yeah, I honestly would probably reschedule your test. I know it sucks, but in the chance that you do fail, it's going to cost you, so well, because you fly in, fly out, don't you? Yeah. Well, I'm happy for you to give it a go, but it's completely up to you. It's just that you got to give 48 business hour notice if you want to reschedule. Even though your test is on Monday, 48 hours worth of notice is actually today. Yep. The only time I would tell people definitely a no to doing the test if I don't think they're going to pass is if I think they're going to be risking my bike on the quick stop. But yeah. It's because there's no consistency with our riding. Because like even back there, like when you suddenly broke for the 40 sign, it looked like you just stomped on your rear brake rather than using your front brake. So yeah, there's just no consistency. That's why we do the U-turns, to teach you how to ride the bike at lower speed. But then that's also why we do the quick stops. It's not just about the emergency stop, it's also when we should be using that front brake. So when we're doing higher speed stuff, always use your front brake first. But yeah, anything above 20 k's an hour, always use your front brake first. Always. Problem is, if you keep getting used to just using that rear brake when you go riding along by yourself, when you do come into a real emergency, you're just going to stomp on that rear brake and you're going to lock up your rear tyre. And then you're going to hit whatever's just pulled out in front of you. Excellent merge, good work. Remember, we're in the 50 zone, so don't go above 50. But yeah, you might magically put it together on the lesson before the test. See how we go. If you want to see other parts of Midland and stuff like that though, like just to get a head start, have a look at the, just scroll through the videos and just look for the videos that say Midland test area. Oh yeah. Was that with the lady on the blue bike? Yeah, I had the wrong power setting on my power bank in my backpack. It was set on to 5 volt instead of 12. And I think the encoder in my backpack kind of crapped out because it wasn't getting enough power. Yeah, no, there's other videos before that. I really need to delete that video. Yeah, it was. Another thing as well, yeah, just go back and look through the videos. That's pretty much it. Look for the Midland testing area ones, and yeah, they'll be the ones more relevant to you. So yeah, if you do go out and practice on your bike, really focus on your braking when you're riding around. Like really get into the habit of front brake first, then use your rear brake and brake together, and then when you're riding slower, just let go of your front brake. Because the more you get used to using that rear brake at lower speed, the easier the U-turns are going to be, because you're going to already know how much rear brake to use. I haven't come across a bike yet that I haven't been able to do the U-turns on first time every time. And I use the same technique on every single bike. Careful of our speed. What bike are you going to be practicing on? Ah, okay. Which one was that? Was that a Monster? Street Fighter? Let's get our speed back up. So your Street Fighter might not have the same turning circle as my bike. It might be slightly wider, I can't remember. Yeah, just get used to the squeeze. If you practice out behind Bunnings, 2 of those parking spaces is pretty much behind Bunnings there. 2 of the parking spaces is pretty much 12 meters. Do take into account though, if you're stopping dead on the 12 when you're practicing by yourself, add on another 2 meters to your stopping distance, because then that'll allow for the reaction time as well. So if you're stopping on dead on 12, then you just got to brake that little bit harder. Try to stop around 10. Liking your Ducati though? You liking the Ducati? Yeah, they're nice too. Some of the MV Augustas though, they look amazing. Oh yeah, I've seen those. How much were the Vitalis going for? Yeah, it's still pricey. Especially for an 800. Careful of your speed. Because we're in the 60 zone because of the school zone there. Now we can get back up to 80. Yeah, my neighbour's got the 1290 Duke, Super Duke. Oncoming car, where should we be? Me, I'd love to get either another ZX10 or a Panigale. That's why I went with the ZX10. The one that I had at the time was the 2013 model, and its seating position was not as aggressive, it wasn't as jacked up, and I used it as my everyday bike. It was amazing. Yeah, it's... oof. And then you got the maintenance on top of that. Yeah, it's insane. It doesn't even cost that much to service a bike. If it's a major service, then definitely, but if it's just a minor, it should only cost you like a few $100s. If it's an intermediate, it should only cost you about $500 to $700.